It's the PokerNews Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 928 of the PokerNews Podcast. I'm Chad Holloway, joined by Ben Ludlow and Mike Holtz at Level 9 Studio in Las Vegas. The boys are back in town, at least for a little bit. We'll get into the busy schedule that's coming up. We got a good show. We're going to talk about a police raid in a Swedish poker game that was pretty aggressive. We're going to talk about a home game in Florida involved a fight with, of course, Maurice Hawkins, and lots more on that. Friend of the podcast. We're going to talk about Daniel Negreanu's tweet that opened up a discussion about players who have learned like kind of via solvers or doing their own thing. We're going to get into a giveaway for a new poker book, so stay tuned for that. Gentlemen, let's start with this Swedish poker raid. It was in a low-stakes game, just $100. We've seen the video. Pretty aggressive. Like, what would you feel if you were in a game like this, all of a sudden the SWAT team rushes in?
Well, I mean, I know healthcare there is free for everyone, so I'd feel all right. I'm not in America; they probably don't even have guns, you know. No, obviously do, but I'd feel a lot safer in Sweden than I would here, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe they just don't have much going on because they take care of their people in Sweden, and pay for their health care.
Everyone's too busy being a model to play poker.
Yeah. Everyone's very happy and taking care of their children and like not being aggressive and violent to each other. And there are no gangs. So they're just like, all right, I guess we gotta go in and take this like $3,000 worth of euros in this illegal poker game. I mean, it's
terrible math, but we'll do it.
How many people were there?
100.
How much was the buy-in?
100.
3,000.
Yes. Well played, Ben.
It took place.
Played.
Took place at the Kroken Poker Club in Stockholm. It was a big police raid. They had drones. They had a helicopter support. It was supported by the Swedish Gambling Authority. Now, playing poker in Sweden is legal. You can play online. You can play in licensed clubs. But this particular one was unlicensed. So I think that had something to do with it. But I think more than that is they connected it to maybe a larger money laundering operation with some of the owners. It does say in the article that 3 people were arrested and in charge with illegal gambling and money laundering. But, I mean, the video is pretty aggressive. And you can see, like, according to accounts, like the police were pretty aggressive over there, like pushing people to the ground, including elderly players. Some people were confused as to what was going on, thinking that they were being robbed or that a shooting had taken place. Weapons were pointed at them.
The first thing that I thought of was that, remember the EPT Berlin when the guys rolled in and did that? Like, that's what I would have thought when I saw this video. I'm like, oh, yeah, this game is getting raided. There must be millions of dollars in there. These guys are like extremely tactical going in. No, it's just, I wonder how much it cost for the police to do that relative to what they're like keeping from.
Well, I think the other 3 people they arrested must have been doing some other crazy stuff.
I know. It's always something. It's always a connection to the mob. It's always a connection to money laundering that's, gets us poker people in trouble.
It's probably John Pork, dude.
I knew it. John Pork.
He's always up to
something.
He's
always to something. But, someone said that they had to like hold their hands on their head for 2 hours. That I would be just really mad about that because like when I hold my hands on my head, it like hurts my back.
I've had to do that in my boxers for police before.
Mike, did you
tell us about that?
No, I think behind my back. I don't even remember.
What was
They raided a house I was in because we were all get this.
We were all dealing drugs.
No, we were all smoking pot.
What?
Yeah, we had a Super Bowl party.
Can't
and
do that in Sweden.
Everyone was smoking weed at the party, and they pulled a couple people over. And then the next day, they just raided our house. I mean, like 7 of us. They found 1 gram of weed in the whole home.
Did they take a big picture with it? Like, we did it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally. George Bush was actually there as well. It was pretty crazy.
Mike, did you get the reference that Ben dropped about the EPT Berlin robbery with masked gunmen?
Yeah, I got the reference.
Yeah. Were you there,
I didn't
Chad?
know if you were familiar.
I'm familiar.
This was around the time. I think I started EPTs the year after because that robbery took place in, I think it was 2010 in March.
Yeah.
Four masked gunmen stormed, stole 250,000 euros. I had some colleagues that were there. I've heard all the stories, but yeah, definitely pretty scary. And like you said, like if I was just playing in a club, which I thought was safe, and all of a sudden they, masked people came in, my first thing would be like, oh shit, we're getting robbed right now.
I would be like, oh shit, at least it's €100 buy-in. Good luck,
My
guys.
first thought is it's either ICE or people impersonating ICE.
Oh, jeez.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shout
yeah,
out.
especially here in the States.
Oh, in Sweden, yeah, who fucking knows what it could be? I think it's the fun police or something over there.
Yeah. ICE
All right,
means
well,
something different over there. It means like,
Shaw, yes.
Let's
My
talk
Swedish
about
accent.
another big game involving some drama, if you will. It was a home game down in Florida involving 21-time World Series of Poker circuit ring winner Maurice Hawkins. Some video circulated online showing a fight. Well, check it out. All right, so there you see it. Maurice Hawkins getting involved in a fight. Now, from what I have been told afterwards, after we learned, it was kind of unprovoked. What did you guys hear about this when you first saw it?
I mean, I don't want to say too much because my lawyer said that, defamation especially after Maurice's tweet that said he was coming after us on the Poker News podcast.
Well,
especially
Poker News
Chad.
from your contract covers all legal fees.
Oh,
so.
really? I should read those contracts more closely. All right, so let's get into it. Look, I mean, I'm sure you guys have talked about Maurice a lot. I tend to think that if he got his ass kicked, he probably deserved it. He probably had it coming to him.
Yeah.
It was probably something scummy. He was probably mouthing off or something like that. I don't think he was just sitting there and then all of a sudden someone sucker punched him. Although,
No,
it could without being unprovoked. You know what I'm
Sure,
saying? I don't think he was
yeah.
just like sitting silently, like.
Well,
Like-
from all accounts from what I heard was that basically, like Maurice said something about being African American, and a guy said he wasn't African American, and then it's like they were arguing about it for some reason, and then the guy just got up and sucker punched Maurice. And I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't say Maurice got beat up or anything, got punched a few times, like he, and then afterwards he obviously, like, I don't know if you guys saw the other video, but he stood up and went to square up with the guy, and the guy, it looked like he went for a gun. So I mean, I don't know, I don't think this makes Maurice look like a punk or anything like that.
There's actually, to clarify a little bit on the, it wasn't an argument as to whether or not Maurice Hawkins is African American. According to somebody named Rock, who was there and spoke with Poker News, said that, quote, Maurice and I said we were of African American nationality, and Eugene, who is the guy who was doing the punching, said that's not a nationality. He Googled it, and that's basically what started the argument a little bit. And Mike, you mentioned that there was a second video that Maurice released, he tweeted saying that the narratives are hilarious. A guy tried to sucker punch me and sneak attack me while I am in my seat. Then you post, I got my ass whooped, fucking hilarious. What you think happens if I don't get grabbed when I got to my feet? Here you go, the truth of what happened. Here's the second video. And as Mike said, you can kind of see it looks like Eugene might be reaching for a gun in his back waist band. Check it out.
Bro, they all got guns. Me neither.
All right, so there you see a different video, different angle. Look, there's been a lot of semantics on this of, well, he was sucker punched, so was he really participating in the fight? I don't know. He was involved in a scuffle. We'll say that. But it does look like it was not provoked physically, at least by Maurice Hawkins. Like Ben alluded to, I'm sure, he was running his mouth as he tends to do. Maurice actually did send me a DM because I did a rundown video on this. The rundown is something that Poker News does every day, which is just a little clip about whatever the big story of the day is. And Maurice saw that video and sent me a DM that said, once again, you pick and choose how to make me sound bad. First of all, the guy you quoted wasn't at the game. The girl who was at the game said what happened. No woke there. Then it wasn't a fist fight. He tried to blindside me. No mention of that. You are a piece of shit, in all caps. I just responded, as I always do, to Maurice. Come on the show. Let's talk about it. Open invitation. You said you would before. It's nothing personal. We're just reporting the poker news. But he wasn't too happy. He actually then released a tweet with a video addressing myself. Check it out.
Well, let me get this right. Chad Holloway puts out a fucking video that says, I got in a fist fight when dude attacked me from the blind side while I was sitting in the chair. And then he said that I was running my mouth when the person who he quoted wasn't even at the game. The chick quoted what happened in the game, but he doesn't mention that at all. And you telling me that Chad Holloway and PokerNews not targeting me to make me look bad and defame my name. Man, fuck y'all, bro. Deuces, man.
All right, so there you have it, the video. I responded to it, basically, explaining that, it wasn't me saying these things. It was the quote from the article. I wasn't saying that he was running his mouth. Somebody else said that. But anyways, just said, come on the podcast. Again, I'm sure he's hearing this, watching this. Come on the podcast, Maurice. Let's talk about it. The community wants to hear more from you, and I will be happy to ask those questions. He did go on Twitter. Mike, like you alluded to, he was sounding off a bit. He had a series of tweets. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, for me, it's with Maurice, he has no remorse. He's always the victim. I think he's beyond redemption at this point. From my perspective, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think anyone's beyond redemption, right? I mean, maybe, I guess. I mean, I don't know. His shit's not great with Maurice in the poker community. Like, his reputation's obviously horrendous. We've talked about in the past, he could do a 180, but man, he just keeps digging the hole deeper and deeper. And yeah, I don't know.
We talked a little bit about second chances with cheaters, and it's obviously a different situation, but this concept of like being beyond redemption in poker, to this point, we're reporting what happened. We're seeing what happened in a video, giving our opinions. Obviously, we're going to be funny. We're going to poke fun, make jokes, all these things. But like, we want to hear more of your side. Like, come out and talk about these allegations. Come out and tell us your side. Let us ask some questions. All these things. Like, I don't think anyone's beyond redemption either. And I know what you're saying, Chad. Like, I do agree that like he has, at this point, his reputation is probably beyond repair, and I think that is a function of not having come on a podcast, not like having tried to explain his side more, not allowing for a dialogue, just being the victim, right? Like, if you come on and want to explain yourself, allow people to like talk to you about it, that's a whole different thing. But if you are always the victim, if you're just kind of spouting in one-way conversation, and we have all of this proof, like you said, of the reason his reputation is the way it is, like, this is what happens, So to come at us or to come at Chad specifically seems crazy, because this is your job. This is our job to see what's going on, talk about it. Obviously, like, try and make light of it and like be funny about it, but we want to hear more. Like, come on and have a discussion with us. None of us are saying you're a horrible human being that can't be beyond it. Like, let's have a discussion, because until then, it's all one-sided, and this is how it's going to be.
Yeah, and like I said, he's got an open invitation. Totally. I'm sure when this stuff happened, you got to know it's going to blow up, right? Yeah. Like, reach out. You have an opportunity to say, hey, this just went down. I want to talk about it. I want to get ahead of the story a little bit. But
right. And just one more point before, is, had this been anyone else whose reputation is normal, had this been, any number of poker pros who are great, obviously, like, he's a great player and like his game is well respected, et cetera. Like, we wouldn't be talking about this in the same way. We would be saying, oh, someone got sucker punched or there was this kind of attack, whatever. But like, every time you're brought up, your reputation is going to be brought up because of this whole situation and because the fact that like there is no dialogue. So anyway, come on the show. Maybe it's not me, the guy who should be talking to. It should be you two, or I don't know, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah. I mean, I think, in this situation, Maurice didn't look like he, was the aggressor or anything like that. He does look more like a victim, if you will. But I would encourage him and anybody else that finds themselves in such a situation of like, ask yourself, like, how did I get here in the first place? Totally. Is there anything that I did? Can I take responsibility for anything? And like you said, like, Maurice is known for running his mouth. Mike, like you said, and a lot of people echoed on social media that they were surprised it took somebody, this long to to resort to that. So, which, I never will condone the physical violence aspect of it. And I think all things considered, in the heat of the moment, Maurice handled himself pretty well.
Yeah, I agree, but I think Maurice is afraid to come on the show. I think he went on another podcast before where it was like the questions were cherry picked and yada yada. It's the same reason why his comments are not available on Twitter, why you can't comment on anything. It's because he knows what public perception is. He knows that when confronted with the issues, he's not going to have any defensible answers that the vast majority of the public will deem acceptable. So there's no gain for him to come on unless he can somehow exonerate himself in a debate, which I don't believe he can. So I think that's why he's afraid to come on the show.
You know, in these situations, the truth is scary, right? That's why all these people don't want to come on and like explain their side, because the truth is that they did lots of things wrong and they don't want to be like, I fucked up. You know, I did owe people lots of money. Like tournament poker is the, you know, sometimes a bottomless pit of trying to find buy-ins. Now it's just borrowing.
Sure.
Like we all would understand, not that we're like saying that that's okay or that, you know, you shouldn't be apologizing or making it right. But like, you know, we understand if you explain it. But when the truth is scary and it's something that's going to make you look bad or that like it confirms all these things people are saying about you. Yeah. So you hide, I guess. It's too bad.
Well, open invitation, as always, for him to come on and chat more about it. Let us talk about a tweet that Daniel Negreanu sent out that I thought was just kind of interesting and worth discussing a little bit. He tweeted out that, quote, there's a lot to admire and respect about those that work hard with solvers and learn the game at a high level the right way. For me, it's just way more romantic, fun, and cool to watch those that do their own thing and make it work, while the studied crowd eternally discusses how bad they play. He then listed a bunch of names, Vanessa Subs, Phil Ivey, Bryn Kenny, Jesse Lanis, Chino Ream, Michael Mizrachi, and some more. Even Sean Deeb, he listed at the end. Which I just thought was interesting, and I'm curious to hear your guys' take, because I do understand the point that he is trying to make, and there do seem to be two kind of classes of poker players in terms of how they play or are trained. Ben, Mike, what do you guys think?
Well, I was just gonna say I have two good points about this. The first point would be that I think it's real. I think it is more romantic to come from like the person who has just the instincts. They've just, since they were young, they've molded into this. And then they didn't need the solvers. They were the solver, you know? They had the answers themselves. Jesse Lonis out there just being a gorilla crushing it, Phil Ivey. My second point is, what is up with the normalization of Bryn Kenny? Like, we've just, like, as a poker community, just, like, forgotten about his ridiculous cheating scandals. Like, it seems like he's just treated like a normal human being now. And, like, like, it seems like he's different than Ali and Jake Schindler somehow now. That's how I see everybody seems so friendly with him and nice and yada yada. And
I didn't even, I didn't even know there were cheating scandals about Bryn. So there's your point.
Frog poison?
Oh, yeah. Okay, frog poison. Right.
The whole entire frog poison saga.
And that was all I needed to hear was frog poison.
Yeah.
I'm back.
No, it's a gigantic thing. I mean, the guy's a gigantic piece of garbage who's cheated people out of so much money, and we just treat him like normal. But yeah, he also wizard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to speak to the Bryn stuff because I don't know enough, but yeah, it is much more romantic to think about it this way. Here, I would say that oftentimes when I think this is kind of bullshit too, but the point is fair. When I talk to people who are like, oh yeah, I've never looked at a solver, but like every time I see an output, like, yeah, of course that's what it would say.
Yeah,
you know, like I get it. Like I don't need the solver. I know it. I see that. And I think like, you know, you see people like Lonis, like Bryn, like whoever, who are instinctual players who maybe haven't studied, who haven't dug into the actual outputs. And I think they probably do understand the concept that like the solver does is teach you how to be balanced, teach you how to, you know, make sure that in certain spots you have just as many bluffs as you do value things. And people like Jesse Lonis understand that as well as anyone. I think what they do better is just, you know, understand people and understand, you know, that, okay, this person is doing this when this happens and I'm going to exploit the shit out of that and I'm not afraid to do so. So I think like it is more romantic, but there's probably for 99.999% of people a ceiling you can reach without digging into that, without the study, you know, because the combination of those two is what makes, you know, the top 0.0001% player. So, I mean, it is more romantic, but I think it's also kind of like a little bit of people hiding behind like, I don't really like to study or I don't want to. Like it's like, yeah, I'm an instinctual player. Well, maybe you're also just a little lazy.
Yeah.
That's
I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
I did tweet at Negreanu because I was just curious about one player in particular. I said, where would you put Michael Addamo in this discussion? And he responded pretty quickly saying that he is very much a solver guy, but studied very differently and on his own. For those of you who know or were around or kept an eye on the industry when Michael Addamo was absolutely crushing, what he did was he basically put people in these positions, these spots that they had never considered before, right? So he just would go all in for outrageous amounts in these spots. I don't know. It's hard to describe. Ben, Mike, do you guys remember like his dominance there for a while?
I think one of the things that these solvers uncovered is sort of putting people in spots where you're like overbetting pot or overbetting a spot where that you would have never seen that before without kind of like the computer giving you this concept. And he just took that to the nth degree where it's like, oh, it says I should bet 2x pot. I'm just going to bet 11x pot and really, Patrick Leonard, another one of those guys who always does the power jam kind of thing where like if you take these concepts that, putting people in tough spots like this where you're very polarized, but then like do it, 5x what the solver says, then you're just even, it becomes even more polarized. You're just exploiting people even more. And he just wasn't afraid and found the spots to do that. So
I loved Addamo and I really liked watching him play. And like I tried to develop my game like a lot from just watching him in 2021. What I'll say is funny is I was just talking amongst, I don't want to say who, but like 3 really high level like live poker players. They play the Tritons, they play, all the big Poker Go stuff. And all 3 of them shared the same opinion that Michael Addamo was on a very lucky streak. All 3 of them did not think he was as good as I was saying he was. So I was very surprised at that because I loved Michael Addamo. I loved watching him play. And they seem to have a different opinion. They seem to think he was just running very hot and playing a high variance style.
Interesting. Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense that once you uncover kind of like a new strategy like he did, where it was sort of like, oh, we haven't seen things like this before where people are, he's putting people in such ridiculously tough spots. Yeah, I mean, obviously then there's like a normal, like a rebalancing where people learn to do that. You see more of it, then it becomes less effective if everyone knows that that's a possibility. So I haven't seen him as much.
And now he's like an artist or an opera singer or something weird.
Wait, he's not playing anymore?
No. I think he plays somewhat, I think.
If it was a lucky streak, I'm looking at his Hendon Mob right now. So in 2017, he had $500,000 in earnings. And then in 2018, 2.8, 2019, 2.2, 2020, 2.1. And then in 2021, the year you referenced, Mike, where he just absolutely crushed it, won $9.4 million. In 2022, followed it up with $3.1 million. And then $1.2 million in 2023, $2.3 million in 2024. And in 2025, he has $87,696. So yeah, he's disappeared essentially. I actually don't know what he's up to. Mike, it sounds like you have a better idea than I do.
I can't remember. Yeah, there's a site called PokerNews and they've reported on it actually. He's done some sort of something to do with, I think like improv comedy. That's what it is. I think he does. I think he does improv comedy. I could be wrong. This could be a fever dream.
Why is it that the people who are the quietest that I've never heard speak before, they're like, I'm going to be a comedian. Like, that's
jazz hands.
Yeah. I mean, hey, best of luck,
Michael Addamo's got some finger movement. Not
what
the first time you've said that.
No,
I don't know. It's fucking provocative.
Oh, we're doing improv, I see.
Yeah.
We're just showing people what improv is.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
scene. No, but that's crazy that they that just seems like objectively wrong that he's like
which part
that he's just was on a lucky streak. Like that's maybe
that's what I thought too. I was like,
he
seemed pretty good to me.
Obviously I'm sure these players are much more studied and better than I am, so I'm not.
They're better than me by far. I was like very confused. What do you mean, of course?
No.
Fuck do you mean, of course?
I mean, duh. Of course they're better than you, idiot. No. But last point before. Sorry, I know we're. Is that over time, like things change. Poker changes, so his strategy is no longer as unique as it used to be. And if that's what made him so incredibly good, the people who have stayed relevant, who are like that, who have found different strategies, guys like Grind or whatever, I'm sure are constantly adapting. And maybe he just hasn't adapted. Well, or maybe he just made so much money that he wanted to ride off into the improv sunset. So,
yeah. Well, one place I'm sure we will see Michael Addamo, because he is Australian, is at the Aussie Millions, which is returning to the poker schedule for the first time since before the pandemic. In fact, PokerNews was recently announced as the official live reporting partner for the 2026 Aussie Millions, which will run April 24th through May 10th. There is 18 tournaments across 18 days, including a $10,600 buy-in, Australian dollar buy-in main event. Gentlemen, I love the Aussie Millions. I got to go many times. Melbourne is one of my favorite places in the world. I've already tossed my name in the hat to try to go. I'm going to advocate for a PokerNews podcast show from down there. Mike, I'm guessing you've never been. Ben, I'm not quite sure.
I've
You've
been
been
to
around a while. Oh, you have? Okay. Well,
in
have you
my
guys
dreams.
oh, great.
I'd say well played, but that was pretty bad.
Yeah, no, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Ben, did you ever make it down there, though? I know you were on the
Improv.
media grind there for a while.
Yeah, I'd never made it to Aussie Millions specifically. I have been to Australia when I was younger, but no, that's like the number one stop that everyone always said. Best stop, best city, best casino, all of these things. It was just a little, above my price range at the time. If it runs this year, though, maybe I'll see you there. It sounds awesome.
The details are on PokerNews, and like I said, I will advocate for us to try to be there. And then it is December now. The WPT World Championship is underway. The WSOP Paradise is underway. EPT Prague. It's a very busy time. Mike, we've been hinting at it for many episodes. Like, what are you going to do? And you said off the air, you finally figured it out.
I did
Tell the
figure it
listeners,
out.
viewers, what you're going to do.
Like a slinky dropped from the top of the stairs, I have found the bottom, which will be WSOP Paradise. You're getting slutty on them.
The bottom.
I don't know. It's like a magnet to another magnet. I was connected, and now I'm just getting sucked in.
You're one side of the magnet, and Paradise was the other side of the magnet.
Exactly.
And they were just like,
I maybe corporate greed was the other side of the magnet. I'm not sure. There's so much rake back. But yeah, no, it's going to be December to remember.
And Ben, what about you? I know you're heading down to the Bahamas as well.
I am also heading down to the Bahamas, slightly different capacity than Mr. Mike. I am going to be doing content for the WSOP. You'll see me doing interviews with players, celebs, whoever. I'm going to try and do some funny stuff, do a few sketches. You're just going to see a lot of me in the Bahamas over the next month. 2 or 3 videos a day, and I'm excited. They said specifically like Mike Holtz out.
Yeah, no, they didn't say that. They will.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Not
say that.
yet.
No, you'll see me and Mike down in the Bahamas. I'm excited to do some content for them, and keep an eye out.
Well, one little piece of advice for you, Ben: do not use any AI.
You know what?
Fuck balls.
I maybe the AI is why I got this opportunity. So I'm not going to be using. Maybe
Could
yes,
be.
could be. It is. We'll not be using any AI.
Let's do a PokerNews podcast giveaway, this time for a book. A good friend of mine, Jonathan Little, will be releasing a new book called The Complete Poker Workout, which is available for pre-order right now at dnbpoker.com. We'll be giving away some copies of that in the future once we have them. But for now, we're going to give away a copy of another Jonathan Little book, 100 Essential Tips. All you got to do is, if you're watching this video, comment book in the comments, and you'll be entered to win. I will randomly select a winner before next week's episode. Just make sure you pay attention to the comments, because if you win, that's where I'm going to respond to you and let you know that you won, get your address, etc., etc. Visit dnbpoker.com to check out all their books and Jonathan Little's new book, The Complete Poker Workout. All right, gentlemen, that is going to do it for this episode. We usually do recent tournament winners, but we are going to leave that for the audio-only version of the podcast, which is on all major podcasting platforms, including Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud. So you can tune in if you want to know more. We will also release a standalone video of the recent tournament winners. Ben, Mike, I wish I was joining you in the Bahamas now that I know you're both going to be there, but I might have to have you send in some videos or something.
Yeah, this is our revenge for not bringing us the World Tournament of Slots. So
No, for real.
yeah.
I'm just daydreaming about how we should do a sketch where I play a character that Jonathan Big.
I get it.
I think
Because his name is Jonathan Little.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, alrighty, Rooski, guys, we've got some tips and tricks here.
Is that Jonathan
gonna be
Big?
good.
He
I
doesn't
love-
look so little.
Caveat, I love Jonathan Little, so that'd be perfect.
Shout out Jonathan
It's
Little.
Jonathan Big.
No,
He's like the opposite of Jonathan Little.
Right,
Oh,
because-
we'll sketch this out. Someone trademark this.
All right.
I'm going to get fired.
Do us a favor, like, subscribe, give us that 5-star review. We will be back with some episodes in the rest of December because we got EPT Prague, WSOP Paradise, and WPT World Championship to talk about. So it's going to be a very big month. Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.